Welcome to Focusing Pathways. Myriam el Kettani is a focusing-oriented therapist from Morocco. She's the head of counselling at the French International School, and she has a private therapy practice working with individuals and families. In this episode, Myriam chats with Elaine about how she has integrated focusing into her work as a therapist and her experience of teaching focusing to children. She also shares her dream of growing the focusing community in Morocco. I hope you enjoy listening.
So, hello, Myriam. You're so welcome to our Focusing Pathways podcast. I'm really looking forward to speaking to you today. And let's just begin how we always do with that lovely question. How did focusing find you?
Hello, Elaine. Thank you very much for receiving me. I'm very, very happy to have this opportunity. And it's the first time for me that I do a podcast. So this question about how focusing came into my life, it was I think 5 or 6 years ago. I was a student in psychotherapy in Casablanca. I was studying and learning a person-centered approach. And in our school, they gave us the opportunity to discover like an initiation to focusing with Bernadette Lambois. You know, she came from France, from IFEF, during 3 days, and it was really 3 very, very special days. And I felt a lot of emotions, and I discovered myself more. And also what I appreciated a lot was the interactions with the other students, because she asked us to work one by one, you know, like we do with partnership. And it was I think it was the first time for me that I was like this with someone else, doing this very close discussion in a focusing way.
Yeah. Lovely. So when you say person-centered therapy, that was Carl Rogers' work, right?
Yes, exactly.
So can you speak a little bit more about that actual work? Because Jean worked very closely with Carl in the listening aspect of that for focusing, and how when focusing came, then how it changed for you.
Yes, the person-centered approach for me is like the basement. We say the basement in English, the basement of my work.
Foundation, yeah.
The foundation, yes. And I learned how to be grounded and to be in presence, and to, of course, to listen with empathy. All the you know, there are principles of we say principles in English.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of person-centered approach, which is the empathy, the how you welcome with no judgment, and the congruence. And I think it's the 3 most important things. There are also other things. And so I was already integrating these principles, these basements, and I was practicing this with the the beginning of my practice, which was with children. And then when focusing came, I discovered the process, and it was like something added to person-centered approach. And then for me, the process was complete, you know, in the sessions for me.
Yeah, so really it was very complete when focusing came in, and I'm really hearing that learning, that groundedness, and that patience, and what was the other word you used? Sorry, for
The
in
congruence.
congruence.
The
Yeah,
congruence, yes,
yeah.
the congruence, which is my capacity to be aware what is happening inside me, and
Mm.
being authentic with the client. But with the focusing, there is something more, which is the felt sense, and this is really for me very valuable. We say very
Yes.
valuable. Um, uh, because if I am aware of course, my what's happening inside, my emotions, my feelings, and things like that, and also if I add to this my felt sense, also for me the process is more complete as a therapist.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the felt sense is so different for that feeling of emotions. There's something different there, isn't there? How would you explain that?
Yes, I think that the felt sense is a step further,
Hmm.
uh, and it includes, of course, emotions and feelings, but intuitions, also images, and something that is inside of us and is present, and maybe without any words, but with a global sensations. Of course, I can find words, but sometimes no. It depends on the situation.
Mm.
And I think for me the most important things is the intuition. It's something that I use a lot when I'm with clients. Intuition of what might be happening inside the client, and that he can't formulate, or he can't say, you know.
Hmm.
So I feel this inside of me, and I propose it to the client.
Okay. Okay, so you feel so do you feel the intuition in you, and you reflect that back to the client then, that maybe it might be like this for them?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Because, for example, during the sessions that I have with my client, I listen a lot at the beginning,
Hmm.
at least 30 minutes. People, they need to talk and they need to be listened. So I listen a lot, and I reflect, of course, as I learned with the person-centered approach, and also with the journaling, with the focusing in a focusing way, which is a level more than just listening with reflect. So I listen a lot. So I create a space where the person can express herself,
Hmm.
and then after maybe half an hour or a little bit more, when I think focusing can be focusing as a process can be suggest, I do it.
Hmm.
I don't know exactly why. Sometimes I do not, and sometimes I do. But sometimes it's just like this. I feel like this is a good moment. So, and then when I suggest the focusing process, the person can, she has just, or he has just liberate words and feelings and emotion during the verbal expressions.
Hmm.
And with the focusing session, it's like you integrate the body. This is, of course, you know this. So you
Yeah.
integrate the body with what you have expressed. So the meaning in your body, and so it's interesting because they have the person has, it's very, I don't know how to say in English. It's fresh in her mind, you know. She
Hmm.
just expressed things, so it's fresh in her mind. So when I ask what is inside of you now that wants to be expressed from the inside and with your body, all that the person has just talked about is here, you know. And
Yeah.
you know, so this is how I work.
Yeah, it's like they're in connection with it. It's very alive and ready to be interacted with
Yes,
after speaking about it. Yeah,
yes,
so in terms of, so you studied focusing orientated therapy, so it's not slightly different, but it's so you use your intuition as a therapist to
yes,
suggest maybe how it feels for that person, and then they can check. Is that
yes,
correct? Is that how you do it?
yes, yes. And focusing oriented therapy is for me uh, it's an occasion to go further or
Hmm.
with with the client, because I don't know if you know the book written by Neil Friedman, and he wrote the book about focusing oriented therapy. And I really appreciated this book. He gives examples of how you can respond to the feelings and emotions, of course, with the posture of the the empathy and listening with the respect and all that we know about person-centered approach, but with the focusing um, um, with what focusing can add. You know, it's like you
Hmm.
add something, and you help the person to develop her own felt sense. It's like you open the space for
Mm,
the felt sense.
okay. Yeah, that's really interesting. As opposed to like myself who just learned focusing, just the normal structure of it. So hearing, that you suggest, not so much suggest, but you
Yes,
you
it's a
use your
kind of
intuition.
suggestions. You know, for
Yeah.
example, someone during a session talks about anger and
Hmm.
talks a lot about anger, and at the same time, as I listen to this person, I feel like there is more than anger. You know, there are history of there is of course the history of how this anger appeared and all the things around. So as a focusing oriented therapist, I have this felt sense that there is more, and I sometimes, if I feel that it's the good time, the best time, and the person is ready to hear some things, because it's very important not to talk about things that the person is not ready to hear, you know.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if I feel that the person can hear this, I can suggest maybe this anger is also um, accompanied is also living inside you with frustration or
Mm.
something else that I feel is present, and that the person, or jealousy, and but the person can't say it because shame, or maybe it's still in her unconscious
Hmm.
mind, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a very good example, jealousy, because we don't want to feel that, or we don't allow ourselves, because it's such a bad thing and there's so much shame around it. So it's
Yes,
very hard sometimes to express that.
and
So
to acknowledge.
acknowledge it, exactly, yeah, and just allow it to be there, because we feel like we shouldn't feel that way, or if we do it has a real quality of unwanting to be there, and
Yes,
yeah, it's
but
a funny.
I want to really to insist on the fact that I try never to suggest something that the person doesn't want to listen to
Yes,
hear, because it's like I cut the trust, you know.
yes.
I don't know if I can say this in English, but the trust is very important. So
Mhm.
I really I try to keep this this environment of trusting, you know.
Yes.
So if I am expressing in a kind of violent way, because it can be
Yes.
feel as violent, why do you say it's jealousy? It's not jealousy.
Yes.
For example.
Yeah, exactly. I completely understand that. It's like it breaks the trust if you suggest maybe that they may be, yeah, because I think possibly when we're growing up, we're told, oh, you're just jealous, or you know, you're not allowed to be. And so when it gets reflected back, it breaks that and that trust and
Yes. And you know, in Jen Glynn's book, he talks a lot about responding to the client in a very tentative way.
Yes.
I like this a lot. And I learned it a lot with Natalia Quinn. She was my focusing oriented therapist teacher.
Amazing.
And she insisted about this. And I really, I'm very, very, very happy of having integrated this, the very tentative way with respect and not being too much sure about what's happening inside the client. We are never sure. We can't be sure of anything.
Yeah. And that is the essence of it is that the only person who really knows what's happening would be the client themselves. And
exactly.
But it's really nice to hear, you know, that in the interaction, so you can use your intuition, because I think in whole body focusing, they speak about this we space. So, you know, our interaction with each other and how we can interaffecting and how if I'm sharing something, it can bring something up in you that you can also feel. And it's really nice to hear that, you know, it's been integrated like that into focusing orientated therapy. And
yes, so the whole body is like the body, both of the body are interacting.
Yes.
Oh, it's very interesting. You know, I was in a Gestalt conference 2 weeks ago, and they also talked about this, about how bodies can be connected.
Yes.
They use it also in Gestalt, but it's just expressed in a different way. It's not like they said it in the same way.
Yeah, and I could be wrong. I learned that through whole body focusing, but I'm sure it's in lots of other different focusing modal, you know, kind of worlds or ways of sharing that. But
Yes,
you can definitely feel it through even focusing partnership, how, you know, when somebody is in connection with something, that the listener can also feel it, like what Harriet and Renee talks about, the three-way listening also.
yes, the 3 ways. Of course. Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
I also wanted to just also to talk about Marine de Fréminville, which she is my first um, certifying coordinator.
yes.
And I learned a lot with her, of course, a lot. And for me, what I really integrated with her is the relational dimension of the focusing therapy. How she was related with me, it was really something great.
Oh, can you speak a bit more about that relating? How she
was, I think, more than a therapist.
yeah.
Someone who takes a place in your life, really. So, of course, after months and months, she knew many aspects of my private life. So, of course, the place that she had in my life was big, and I was really also I was also very looking forward to see her by Zoom, because she's in Canada. But even if it was by Zoom, I felt it like she understood everything, and in a very easy way, and with without any judgment. And even because I live in an Arab country, we have another way to live. It's our culture, and for her, it was not a subject. She understood anything I was talking about with empathy, and in a focusing way.
Yeah.
The perfect focusing attitude.
Perfect focusing attitude. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So like it was just something that she just met you where you were at all times. And yeah,
Exactly.
really, she
Yes.
just
Yes.
had that
Yes.
special way of being with you without, there was no differences. It was just two human beings being.
Exactly. And she was also the first person that I did supervision with, and especially with the children that I worked with. And she understood very quickly every situations I was talking about, and she could also have a perspective of the children as being part of a family.
Yes.
I think experience is very important in that case. To do supervision. Of course, if you have more than 30 years of experience, it's not like when you are a young therapist. So I could feel the dimension of her experience when I did supervision with her. She could understood very quickly everything that was happening for the child, and even with his parents, because when you are in front of a child, you can't forget the parents and the family.
Yeah, so her experience was really shining through with the dynamics of the family and understanding how it was for the child. Amazing. So you in terms of you mentioned you work with children, but you also taught focusing to children, did you?
Yes. I the first time I did focusing with children, it was with small groups of children in a school in Casablanca for poor children. They are from a poor family, and they were so connected. I never imagined how they could react, and so they loved the body expressions, the games that we did to feel the body. And how I for example, there is this exercise when you have to look at the person next to you, eyes to eye, and say hello in a kind way, empathic way. And there is also an exercise about it was the workshop, so with small exercises. This one, when you try to explain to the other one the limits,
the boundary.
Yes, the boundary, exactly. So they learned how to show their own boundary with a small things like this, and the child in front of them keep it, and in watch one is moving the thing like this. It can be a pen or something long like this, and is moving, and the other one is letting the child in front of him make him move, so he's doing the gesture, he's moving and he's choosing the way and he's stopping when he wants. So they could feel this boundary with their body and with their movement. I love this exercise. And also we did drawings. Yes, of course, they could draw, for example, a house or a space that they could refer to when they feel bad. It's a space that they could imagine, where it could be, how it would look, and people who would be in this place, and how they could feel better if they go in this place.
Yeah, so it's like creating a safe space for themselves and what it would look like.
This is the good word. In English, I forget all the specific words. The safe place, exactly. The safe place.
Yeah, so you got them to draw what they imagine a safe space would be like for them, or their actual own safe space, if they have one. Is that right?
Yes. And also they could write letters. This is a very nice part, I think, of the focusing workshop for children. They have a lot of things to say that they cannot say to their parents or to their sisters and brothers or friend. And so they wrote very nice letters where they could express their emotions that were inside, and that they could let them go out, and feelings. And
somewhere to kind of as you said, express what they really are feeling inside without any shame, and without anyone trying to change it for them and fix it. And I think that's probably very important, just to be able to express exactly how you are feeling, and then not having just to write it down is
yes.
so
And
important.
also there is cards, sometimes I use cards with children, and it's an interesting medium. We say in French medium. Do we say in English?
Yes. Yeah.
And in the cards there are sentences that are written about subjects or situations, and so they can choose which one fits for them, which card fits for this situation for them.
Oh, okay. Can you just talk a little bit more about those cards? So they have, like, would they have, when you say a situation, what would it be, something like
First, there are cards for expressing emotions. When they start, they can choose the card that is the most that fits for this present moment. So this is the first kind of cards. It's very simple. It's emotions cards.
Yeah.
And also, there are cards about situation. For example, you are in school and you have someone who is not nice with you. So what, in this situation, what would you do? Would you do this, or would you answer this, or would you, or how would you feel if someone injure you? We say injury. Things.
Yeah, I guess kind of bullying, would it be?
Yes.
Yeah, injury.
It's not as deep as working about bullying, because it's really a subject, this bullying, but it's anyway. I think these cards help them to be aware of what's happening inside them in some situations that they can live. And as the cards give some examples of how you feel or how you could express, it's easy for some kind of children that are shy or can't express themselves.
Yeah, I really like that, because when you're giving, like, we'll just call it a fake, not a fake situation, but a situation that's not very, it's not real for them. It takes some of the pressure and the emotion away from having to look inside. So it's like they learn how to do it before they can connect with what their stories are.
Yes,
And it seems like a really nice, safe way to teach without, it's like almost like they're not going to get overwhelmed by their own alive emotions
yes,
or
exactly.
whatever
You
is
said
there.
really what you said is really, really exactly this. It's exactly this.
Yeah.
It's like maybe a playing role.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like,
Mm.
yeah. That's very, it's a lovely, and th those cards, are they available to purchase, or are they,
Yes, yes, it's in French.
oh, it's in French?
But I think we can create our own cards.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I met a therapist in Morocco that create her own cards, and I said to myself that it's really a great idea.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I can share with you the cards. I can send you some picture. I will send you some pictures so you see how
Yeah.
they look like.
Brilliant. Yeah, we can put the link as well in the bio as well. So that would be lovely.
Okay.
Thanks, Miriam. So focusing in Morocco,
Oh, yes,
what's
it's a
that
good
like?
question. You know, 2 years ago, it was in 2023, I was in the French conference. They did the international conference in France.
Okay.
And there I met Catherine Torpey. And she's a great woman, really. And
Brilliant.
she told me, so Myriam, are you going to build a focusing community in Morocco? I said, yes, this is really what I hope and I want and I wish. And I was there with two friends of mine, and they learned focusing with Bernadette, and they got certified. And this year, also in 24, there is another Moroccan woman who got certified by Bernadette. So we are four now in Casablanca.
Oh,
And last week, I just talked with Catherine last week, and I told her I think we need maybe 2 more years to organize an event in Morocco around focusing. What do you think? I think
yeah.
I hope you would come. You will come.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Absolutely. Any excuse to go to Casablanca, that would be amazing.
Yes.
It would be amazing to experience like the different cultures and just the different environments, because I feel like we are affected differently by different environments, and we can different things can come for us through that, and it's so
Yes,
important to
exactly.
experience.
And she told me, Catherine, that we should first become coordinator,
Yes.
which is something that I'm planning with my colleague. And also in the school that I studied person-centered approach in Casablanca, they will start in 25 a new focusing certification with someone from Belgium. I don't remember his name, but it's. I'm very glad. So there will be more people in Morocco certifying.
Brilliant. That's amazing. And I just love seeing community grow, just
Yes, me
and
too.
just
Me too.
come, and there's no better community than the focusing community, I find.
Exactly, exactly. I think it's the best community really that I found in my life, because people are so kind and open mind and open heart. I like
Mm,
the expression, and it's like this how we can be uh, related in this focus with this focusing attitude and this empathic way to listen to each other and to accept the differences And that's how it will be also in Morocco.
Yeah, so it's like you learned with marine. It's that relating, like you just meet on a different level. It's like everything else gets put aside,
Exactly.
everything, all different kind of cultures, even language, even
Yes,
language sometimes, you
yes,
know.
sometimes, yes. We spoke in French, so she speaks French. So, but
Yeah,
with that, even with no language, we can really be related.
yeah, like it's in the advanced week longs, they always start with the cross-lingual focusing.
Yes,
And that's so powerful, even though you can't understand the language because it doesn't matter. The
yes,
language
yes.
is
I did
not,
it once. I did it 2 years ago. It was
yeah,
so interesting.
it's so interesting. And it's so nice to hear, um, like I focused in the Irish language, which I'm not fluent in, but it was just as an experiment to see what it was like. I have some basic, no, I have more than basic or foundation level, but it was so interesting to hear an Italian person repeat back or reflect back to me in Irish.
Really?
It was because it's never really gets spoken outside of Ireland, or like if they do, they're English speaking.
Mhm.
And so to hear like a different language, like Italian language, speaking Irish, Oscuelga, basically, was fascinating. And it was
Yes.
the felt sense of it was really, um, I guess there was an honoring in that, honoring the culture of the country, and
Wow.
very respectful or something. It was
It's
fabulous.
great to hear this, really. It was
Yeah.
touching.
Yeah, it was. It was actually. It was very touching, and
Touching.
um, because like the Irish language is not spoken that often, outside of Ireland. Even in Ireland, it's not like the primary language, which is a shame. But it is taking a turn and kind of getting more popular, and people are seeing the importance of you know um
Oh,
of language, and holding on to our own native language, and which is a
oh,
resurrection almost.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's a good news. So
Yeah.
now it will take more place and more, it
Yeah.
will be more vivid.
Hopefully in like as the years progress, there's a lot more children learning like the language in schools, as in we all learnt it in school, but they are learning all their subjects through that language now. So
Wow.
it's it needs the environment to more people to speak it, for it to thrive. And it's a little bit like focusing. The more people who do focusing, the greater the community grows and
Exactly.
thrives. And being held in that is so special and a privilege. And yeah, Miriam, I
I'm
think I feel
happy
like
for you.
I feel like it's a nice little place, maybe just to kind of just that privilege of being even here with you today. It's such a privilege just to speak
Me too,
with
really. I'm
you.
so happy, really, that we could do this this
Yeah,
podcast. I've been waiting for a few weeks for this moment, and thank you very much,
yeah.
Elaine, for
Well,
your
thank you. Yeah,
your
sorry.
focusing attitude that is always present.
It's such a lovely way to like interact, and to
Exactly.
just like this space that we created together. Like it's very feels like we created it together, and it's so beautiful, and so honored to speak with you, Miriam. And I'm really looking forward to coming to see Casablanca
Yes,
in a few years.
there is not only Casablanca, there is Tangier, which is a
Yes,
great city, Marrakesh, and we have 2 years to prepare
two
this
years.
event. Okay.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it. So
Yes, me
thank
too.
you so much, Miriam, for
Thank you very
today.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.